morning, everybody. Happy Monday morning to y'all. We are going to be talking a little bit this morning about the Lord of the Rings role-playing for 5e's Ruins of Eriador book. I decided maybe I would give reading through a little bit of an excerpt from the content that we're that I've been talking about these past few weeks to you guys, so that you can really get a sense of how amazing this content is. So welcome, everybody. I know it is a bright, beautiful, snowy, overcast morning here in Canada. If you guys are joining from somewhere warmer, send warm vibes. I am cuddled up in my sweater with my fur blanket and the remains of my coffee. So we will see how we're doing here. I'm also trialing some stream music this morning. I don't know if you guys like stream music. I'm not a big music person. Don't know how much to give you guys for music, so we'll see how that sounds. If you guys want it louder, let me know. If you want it quieter, also let me know. But we will get started here. Welcome, Pizza Man. Got a few calls to make, but I'll be in. Welcome. I hope your calls go good, and I will chat with you once you're in here this morning. I hope you like the stuff that I'm going to be reading through. I think you will. So for those of you who aren't familiar, Pizza Man is a fellow streamer here on Twitch. Does a variety of different streams. It does overpower me. Okay, let's even further down. Trying to around. The quiet version of this music is not as quiet as I would like it to be. Keep almost muting it. All right, let's see how that goes. Continue to keep me updated on how the music is. But Pizza Man does some variety streaming. He's of the stuff I've seen him stream, I know he does stuff like Minecraft, Warhammer, Call of Duty, and various other different types of streams. Pizza Man is also a fellow Lord of the Rings fan and a fellow D&D fan. So for those of you who want to check out Pizza Man, here's a little shout out, Pizza Man. Ta-da! And he's just a good around fellow all around. So check out Pizza Man if you are interested in that kind of streaming. So yeah, so I've been kind of busy this weekend, and it wasn't even truly, there wasn't even stuff for me to actually be busy about. I guess the biggest thing, so I'm a admin on a West March D&D server, and it's called the Forged Concordance. If you are interested in playing D&D via the 2014 5th edition rules, check us out. If you just type in the Forged Concordance, you will easily be able to find us. We have a vanity URL. It's a whole thing. But I'm an admin for this server, And this past few days, I've been busy actually getting ready to do new staff interviews. And these staff interviews are actually for to bring on new members to our moderation team from our existing levels of staff. And we've got a bunch of different levels of staff. We've got obviously dungeon masters who run games, but we also have people for our RP team who help us with our roleplay chats. We've got lore keepers who help organize our lore and the establishment of new towns and storylines and that kind of stuff. We have bookkeepers who handle all the more clerical type tasks, processings of downtimes and character creations, and other various kind of groundwork tasks on our server. We've got a code crew that handle coding and bots and that kind of stuff. We've got a welcome team who's in charge of welcoming new people, helping them overcome the hurdle of being introduced to D&D. They host seminars. They also help with advertising and intake of new players. So we've got a quite robust team. We've also got a feedback team who help our DMs improve and establish a baseline of where our DMs are at so that we can see what DMs are ready to run higher level games. So we've got a really big team. I want to say there's probably in total 200 to 300 staff members. It's quite a large server. We also do regular what we call purges to get rid of people who aren't active on our server. So some servers, they don't ever purge their members, so they might be a few thousand strong, but not all of those people are actually active on the server. And that's no hate on those people. They just that's how they do things on their particular servers. I know I'm part of a few different servers, and I have never been kicked from them, despite having chatted in them maybe once in the last 3 or 4 years. So our server does these regular activity purges. So on average, we have between 1,000 to 2,000 active members. We just did our most recent purge, and I think we got down to about 900 people, which is okay. We're going to quickly replenish those ranks. Anyways, the point of it was in those 900, 1,000 people, we've got about 200 to 300 staff members. And of those staff members, we select people, or we reach out to people to see, if people are particularly involved in the server, good at their jobs, fair when dealing with other players on the server. There's a good indication that they might excel in a moderation role. So we as admins have these interviews. So we sent messages to seven different staff members this past weekend, and we're just starting to kind of gauge interest in whether any of those staff members are interested in interviewing for our moderation team. And thus far, it looks like most, if not all of them, are interested. So I'm just looking at setting up interviews with people now, and it was a lot. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. I haven't had enough coffee this morning. We're looking at setting up interviews, and it's a lot trying to organize interviews with people from around the world. Because we don't just have people from Canada or the United States or even the Americas in general. There's people from Europe, people from Australia, people from Brazil. Like there's people from all over the place. And so trying to organize, number one, an interview panel, so people who are actually going to interview these candidates. And then number two, finding a time where both the interviewee and the interviewers are available to have a 1 hour interview is a bit taxing. So I've been busy doing that this weekend, trying to organize interviews. And this morning I intended to get on stream earlier this morning because I was curious about whether streaming earlier in the morning would be would have a different set of audience to speak to. But I ended up busying myself making a set of interview questions for these mod interviews, and coming up with like scenario questions, and it was a whole thing. So yeah, I'm starting my stream up a little later than intended this morning. I think it's still early-ish, but it's definitely later than I intended. Yeah, so that's enough of me going on and on. So Lord of the Rings role-playing for 5e. So for those of you just joining the stream, for those of you who are not familiar, Lord of the Rings role-playing for 5e is a system that was created by Free League Publishing, and it is a modification of the D&D 5th edition system. It is not a standalone system. It is supposed to be working in conjunction with D&D 5e, but it is slightly different than D&D 5e. If you know D&D 5e 100%, you can't just jump into playing Lord of the Rings 5e. There's a few changes to the system that are important if you want to excel in it, if you want to build a character and know what that character is able to do in this world. Free League Publishing came out with so far 3 different sort of setting books. So they have Ruins of Eriador, which is what we're going to be going into today. They also have Shire Adventures, which is a combination of a settings book and a module for running, so a campaign type book. So it's kind of a 2-in-1, Shire Adventures. And then their latest one was actually Moria, Shadow of Khazad-dûm. So that one is another setting book. Right now, we're going to be looking at Ruins of Eriador. So Eriador being basically the region that stands from the sea all the way to the Misty Mountains. It goes up and down quite a ways to Forodwaith, and then down, kind of ending right around. Trying to think of the place off the top of my head, and sorry, I'm blanking right now, but just past Dunland. actually where where Saruman's tower is, which I'm blanking on this morning. Sorry, I'm a bit tired, I think. So Eriador spans a very large, vast region, and this is considered a lost region. This used to be a realm of men, the kingdom of Eriador. There were three, I guess, kind of smaller nations in Eriador. So to give you guys a sense, seeing if I can pull up a map of. So to give you guys a sense, there was basically three places. There was Arthedain. There was oh, I'm giving you guys the wrong information. Let's give you guys the right information. There was Cardolin. Am I not able to find it here? Are you streaming to YouTube as well? Yes, I am, Pizza Man. And welcome back. Yes, I stream to YouTube and Twitch. To be honest with you, the YouTube streaming is a little less productive than the Twitch streaming is. I've actually been considering whether to move. There's a different streaming service. Trying to remember the name of it right now. I forget what it's called, but anyways, there's a different like streaming service that's geared more towards gaming that I've been considering switching over to instead of YouTube. Just because I find with YouTube, while it's been productive for people to watch my videos after the fact, the actual joining of the live stream has been, actually I don't think I've even had anyone join me on YouTube live stream yet. So it hasn't been as productive as I imagined it would have been. And I think the problem with that is the way YouTube presents gaming. It's just kind of all piled together, and it's really hard for people to find you and single you out on the YouTube streaming service. So I've been considering taking off the YouTube live stream and instead just posting recorded videos on YouTube. I'm still debating it, but I haven't quite taken off just yet with my streaming, so I'm still considering whether YouTube might be useful once I'm better. Give it time to kick off, could take months. You'd be far better off posting videos of the recordings on YouTube. Yeah, Pizza Man. That's kind of what I was thinking too. Is that I'll give it a little bit of time, see what happens when I get a bit of a better viewer base. because right now it's all the build up to that one shot. And once I have that one shot off the ground, people will be able to like I'll post a recording of the one shot on YouTube, a properly edited recording of that series, and then people will be able to discover me a little bit better, and then I'll be able to even on Twitch I'll be able to oh, thank you for the follow, Bella Joycey. Add me up on Discord to join your live stream whenever you're streaming. I don't add people to my stream right now unless I'm familiar with them, Bella, just because I'm responsible for what you guys say on my stream. It's no indication on you as a person. It's just until I kind of have a idea of who you are and what you're about, I don't want to invite anyone onto the stream. I hope that's understandable. But yeah, so I've been considering different ways to make my streaming successful. The biggest thing is getting that one shot off the ground. Once I get that one shot out there, I think it'll really take off. And then I'll be able to post more one shots. Because right now it's a lot of build up to that first one shot. And then once I have that established, I think it's going to kind of steamroll and tumble through a little quicker. Especially because I'll be able to overcome the hurdle with my players, or my current players, I should say, of their understanding of the system and their understanding of character building and that kind of stuff. Because right now that's a limitation to the speed at which we can get the one shot started. Because if I was just running a regular D&D one shot, I could have been playing it. We could have been playing it already. We could have had it done and recorded already and posted. But because it's a new kind of system, my players just aren't comfortable with it yet and are still kind of discovering what they can do for character builds and that kind of stuff. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, are you guys ready to do a little bit of reading of Ruins of Eriador? I hope you are. So one of the things I will mention, so the material presented in this particular book is in the year 2965. Might not hurt to run a one shot to bring in the crowd while also working on this one. That's a good point, Pizza Man. I have a few different one shots. Some of them are more combat based. Some of them are more skill challenge based. But I do have quite a few. I'm just trying to think. I could run a one shot technically. I'm just trying to think. I don't know. I've got kind of a more wintry skill challenge one, which I could do up real quick. That one's a really easy one to do up. I do have a couple horror game type ones, but I don't know if doing the horror game ones right before I do the Shire one shot will draw in the most appropriate crowd. Not to say that people who don't like horror games won't like the Shire adventure one shot, but if they are expecting creepy content, The Shire Adventures is a stark contrast to that. I could see what I can pull in. Like I've got like it's kind of a hex crawl. It's more of a point crawl. That one's a bit more of a combat heavy one. I've got, like I said, a couple horror ones. I do have a couple. I don't know. I could always run like a quick little either combat-based one or a skill challenge-based one. What do you think? Like, would you like to see something that's more like my skill challenge-based one is kind of a Winter Wonderland adventure. That one, I would say, on average, runs about 3 to 4 hours. I also have a combat. It's kind of wave defense-esque type adventure. That one's a pretty low level one, but it's kind of a little silly, that one, because of the NPCs that I have. And it's set in not exactly the Feywild, but it's set in a Fey forest. So I've got a couple different options. I'd love to see the skill challenge stuff. Only experience I have with that is listening to the Stinky Dragon podcast, but silly is also good. Yeah, you know what? I could run like a couple of them. Like I could do, because actually now that I'm thinking about it, the skill challenge one is the sequel to the silly wave defense one. So I could always run both. I would just have to organize a few people who would be willing. But let me just look up how many people. Docs. 1 second. All right. Let me. All right. Let's see. Let's open this up. Let's go. Let's see. What is that one called? This first one, this combat wave defense one, is called The First Date. I really like it. I think it's just a fun game. Let's see. How many players is this? This is 4-player. I'll be right back. Yeah, I could do You know what? Yeah, let's put it out there into the world. I forgot something. All right. All right, Pizza Man. I hope your calls go all right. Let's see here. So, the easiest way would be for me to post the game on my Discord, our West March server, and just have the stipulation that they would have to be all right with streaming, but I can't ever guarantee who would actually join that game. Not saying that there's bad people on the server, but I'm not familiar with all of them. Let's see. Let's ask some people. Would any of you be interested in joining a silly, cheesy, long as this game? The 3 to 4 hour one-shot wave defense-esque. It's not 100% wave defense, but it's like a wave defense. Enjoying a silly, cheesy 3 to 4 hour one-shot wave defense-esque indie 5e game that I could stream online, folks. It would be and on my for simplicity. Get it up and running. All right. I need 4 players, or I have. All right. I will. Put it out there to a couple different. There. All right. Well, we've put it out into the world to a few folks. Also posted to members of my mod team because I like my mod team. Yeah, I can easily stream a little one shot like that. Worst case scenario, I run it on the server. It's just, like I said, I wouldn't be able to tell who would join that. All right. Well, thank you, Pizza Man, for the thought. It's a good idea. Bring in a few people. It's not perfect, but give it a try for sure. All right. A date where I don't have plans, not a time that's of work or the night. All right. That's useful. Okay. I use my Lord of the Rings server. I do have a Discord server for my campaigns. I just it's not for public consumption. Would be Euro friendly. Okay. That goes. All right. Let's get started on this. I've been kind of meandering back and forth with some stuff. This book. The preface to this. After Arvendoy, the North Kingdom ended. For the Dunedain were now few, and all the peoples of Eriador diminished. This is a guide to the peoples inhabiting the lowlands of southern Eriador, the places they dwell in, and the hopes they hold for their future in the twilight of the Third Age. Is intended primarily for lore masters, dungeon masters, who can find among these pages the inspiration they require to bring Middle-earth to life as the player heroes explore it. Players should refrain from reading this, with the exception of those parts detailing areas their character might reasonably be knowledgeable about. The material presented in the Ruins of Eriador assumes that the date is the same one as in the core book, the Lord of the Rings Role-Playing System, which is the year 2965 of the Third Age. Ruins of Eriador complements the saying information presented in the Lord of the Rings role-playing core rules, in particular the material found in Chapter 9, The World, and in the appendix. So we're going to be covering today a little bit of the first chapter of Ruins of Eriador, which is called Fog over Eriador, which is why this stream is titled as much. So Fog over Eriador expands the possibilities for adventure, including the regions of southern Eriador, once part of the Kingdom of Arnor. The city of Tharbad and its troubled history is given special attention, as it may serve as a starting point for the adventures of a company of player heroes focused on exploring the surrounding lowlands. Fog over Eriador. Let's get into it. A day's travel outside Bree lie the lone land. Deserted lands, ruins of the old kingdom. Once these lands were tame and plentiful. Today they have grown wild. To the south of Bree was the kingdom of Cardelaine. Elves called the region Mitherius, Minerius, the land between the rivers, bounded by the Brandywine to the north and the Grey Flood to the south. Was now the Shire of the Hobbits, was once the vineyard of the kings of old. But there are dozens of other stretches of once fruitful territory in the lowlands, and no one dwells there now. War and plague and eternal hatred of the enemy destroyed the folk who lived here. Everywhere there are ruins of the old kingdom, a bridge of stone, a patch of paved road, a lonely watchtower. But one must travel for much longer than a single day between such glimpses of the past. The slow-moving waters of the Grey Flood mark the region's southern border. Beyond it, the land becomes even more desolate. Treeless moors, dusty plains, sucking marshes. This is Edenwaith, the middle land between the kingdoms. A traveler might be forgiven for thinking that the enemy brought ruin to this place, but the worst evils here were done by men, and the land has not forgotten their cruelty. Edenwaith is a bitter land, a region of old battlefields and new ambushes, a harsh land for the harsh folk who dwell here in hidden places. In the south, it rolls into Dunland and onto the banks of the Eisen River that flows from the Gap of Rohan. Turn west, follow the river to the sea. The west coast of Middle-earth is steep and stony, with few good places to land. For twice the world has been utterly changed, westerly lands drowned by the wrath of the Valar, and now waves crash against rocks that once stood far inland. The few harbors at the river mouths are prized, and the remnants of ancient fortifications can be seen in such places. The western coast is as far as anyone can flee the growing darkness in the east, for the seas are now bent and only elves can escape. If the shadow rises, then Eriador is where the free folk will make their final stand. So that's how we preface this chapter, the fog over Eriador. So we're going to start out with the city of Tharbad. And the city of Tharbad is likely, or to my knowledge, not spoken of in either the Lord of the Rings movies or the Lord of the Rings books. It is likely spoken of in other Tolkien books, but what books it might be mentioned in, I do not know off the top of my head. Taking a look, if I Google here, Tharbad mentions. So it is mentioned in book. So Tharbad. If I go into the wiki, so we've got the nature of Middle Earth, the rivers and beacon hills of Gondor, Lord of the Rings, a Reader's Companion. We also have the Númenórean kings, Eriador, Arnor, and the heirs of Isildur. The Hunt for the Ring. There's some mentions of it in the appendices of Lord of the Rings. We also have some mention of it in Unfinished Tales. Yeah, there's a couple mentions of it, but it's not a very prevalent location in the books, to my memory. Tharbad is a place that was built by the Númenóreans. Let's see here. All right. So going into the city of Tharbad. These are the dying days of Tharbad. Everyone knows it, especially those who have witnessed the city's slow decline over the years. They know that Tharbad has always shambled on from crisis to crisis. The city is an immense wounded beast, a heavy creature wallowing in the muddy water, too stubborn and hungry to ever give up. But Tharbad has suffered a mortal injury, and soon it will fall. It will be one more ruin of the old kingdom, silent and abandoned. That is an astounding thing if you think about it. Tharbad is ancient. If these are indeed the last days of the old city, then great changes are in the air, and the turning of an age is at hand. So now we're going to go into some old lore of Tharbad. So there has been a settlement at the crossing of the Grey Flood since men first came to this part of the world. But time grinds hard stones to meal, slays kings, and ruins towns. And the Tharbad of today is very different from that of old. So the first two ages of the world. In the first age, men dwelt in the woods and marshes along the river. For the most part, they were a simple forest-dwelling people, unwelcoming to outsiders and fearful of the wider world. Some traded with the dwarves of Moria and learned a little of their craft and ways, becoming kings in their little kingdoms and raising towns and castles that have long since crumbled into dust and been forgotten. Most, though, clung to their own customs, surviving as best as they could in the dark woods, hiding from the nameless thing dark. Later, the sea kings came from the west. Wood-hungry, they cut down the forests to build their ships and floated the trees downriver to their haven at the mouth of the river. In time, they cut such a wound in the forest that they needed a port further up river and they chose the crossing point that would become Tharbad. A town grew up around the port, a crossroads where the Sea Kings of Numenor trade with the dwarves of Moria and the elves of Holland. The men of the west were peerless craftsmen, and the say of Tharbad was glorious in. But that was long ago, and little of that first city remains. Who remembers the banners fluttering in the wind atop 100 of masts, numerous as trees in a forest? Who remembers that Sauron the Terrible suffered defeat not far from Tharbad in the forgotten first war between the elves and the enemy? Only the elves, and they are gone from this. Tharbad was many things as the Second Age wore on. A fortress in the midst of hostile lands, a river port and center of trade, a place where the Sea Kings demanded tribute from their subjects, a declining outpost on the edge of empire. Numenor fell into darkness, then ruin. But out of that ruin came the faithful of Elendil and his sons. They founded the northern kingdom of Arnor and the south kingdom of Gondor, and built great cities as Anuminus in the north and Osgiliath in the south. To bind their two far-flung kingdoms together, the faithful built a great road across Middle-earth, and at Tharbad they raised a new bridge across the wide and sullen Grey Flood. So that's going into what occurred in the First and Second Age in Tharbad. I might have to go because I see my baby is waking up ahead of schedule. So for those of you who joined me today, thank you so much. Thank you to our new followers. We actually reached our latest follower goal of 20 people. So we are very happy to establish our next follower goal. Let's do that right now, actually. So let's go in and manage our goals. So, hi Pizza Man, welcome back. So I'm really excited to change our goal here. We are now sitting at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 11, 12, 13. We are sitting at 21 followers officially, which is crazy. I'm so grateful to everyone who's followed the stream and who has helped support the stream by liking, following, sharing, talking with other people about it. I really appreciate it. So let us modify our goal here. I don't know. Can you modify goals while you're streaming? Maybe I'm trying to do something not allowed while I'm streaming. We will see. Just need to do it dashboard on your. Oh, okay. That. So allow me to. That's okay. I don't need to modify it right now. I just thought it would be kind of cool to modify it while I was streaming here. But we will modify our next follower goal. It's probably going to be like something like 30. As we continue to make our way up in the amount of followers, be sure to tune in. Tell your friends. You know, anyone that you feel comfortable encouraging to watch my stream. I would really appreciate it. Every view, every follower is really awesome. I cannot express enough how much I appreciate your guys' support. We will continue to make our way up to the affiliate rank here on Twitch so that we can continue to make really cool content for you guys. And thanks again, Pizza Man, so much for your suggestion. I think I will end up running a quick one-shot. I did a quick just gauge from some buddies of mine to see who would even be interested in joining me for a live stream of a more combat-focused, kind of silly one-shot, and I think I might have 4 people, which is the amount of the size of a party that I would need for this adventure. So I will probably do that. It is likely going to be a European-friendly time. Euro-friendly times just tend to be, number one, when my brain works the best. As we get closer to evening time here in the Americas, my brain starts to wind down for the day and get too tired to dictate D&D stuff. So it's probably going to be Euro-friendly. I also have a couple buddies of mine who are more Euro-friendly, or not even Euro-friendly. They're Europeans, so Euro-friendly times are a must for these 2 European buddies of mine. So I will see if I can get them to run up some characters right away, and then we can set a date for a live stream for you guys. And no, it won't be Lord of the Rings 5e. Like I kind of prefaced before, the learning curve for the character system, the ins and outs of everything is a little intimidating, and it's delaying our current one-shot that's going to occur. But this one-shot I have prepared previously. It's something that I've ran quite a few times now. There's some small modifications I have to make to it just because of it is currently set in my in the same world as the server that I play on, the server that I admin on. So I will have to modify it just ever so slightly. But as long as I can get my husband to look after my baby while I live stream, we should be golden to run this. It'll likely be like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday kind of thing, just depending on who I can get for when. But we'll come to that bridge when we cross it, because I don't know off the top of my head if all of my players work Monday to Friday. I think most of them do, so it's probably going to be a Saturday morning, but we will see. But yeah, thank you everyone so much for joining me this morning. I will be trying to stream again for sure Wednesday morning. I might be able to stream again tomorrow morning, just depending. It depends entirely on what time I get to bed tonight, because my baby was up very, very late last night, and I woke up early this morning, so if I get a decent sleep tomorrow night, I will live stream tomorrow morning. I do have to run to town and pick up some new brakes for my husband's truck from town, so I won't be able to for sure stream tomorrow, just in case I wake up late, because then I'll have to rush to get out the door. But I will hopefully be able to talk to you guys tomorrow, and we can continue to explore Tharbad in the Ruins of Eriador by Free League Publishing. Thank you all again so much. For those of you who like variety streaming, check out Pizza Man, a big supporter of our stream here. If I can, there we go. And for those of you, oh, I had to wait. I apparently can't shout you out more than once an hour. But check out Pizza Man. And for those of you who like Lord of the Rings stuff, there is actually another streamer who is streaming right now, and they are they're currently running what they call their Middle Earth Mondays at the moment, and it's called The Kindly Cleric. I don't know if I can do this. Of course, it won't allow me to. His name is The Kindly Cleric. He is currently streaming live right now. He does what he calls Middle Earth Mondays. It usually begins 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. He was having some technical difficulties this morning, so he started a couple hours late. Should be able to raid. Can I raid when I'm a small streamer? Because I thought that I had been told previously that it's inconvenient for streamers if someone who's small tries to raid someone else. I don't want to be an inconvenience, because I actually really like the Kindly Cleric. I'm not familiar with the etiquette. I was told it by a major streamer. I don't know what their name is, but I was told that it's bad etiquette for someone to that's a small streamer to raid a larger streamer, because too small, and I don't know. That's just what I was told. If it's incorrect, I can definitely try to raid. Just let me see if I can figure this out. All right, there's a raid channel. Do I just click the raid channel thing on Twitch? Poor etiquette to raid someone that's larger as a small stream off as you are fishing for views. Okay. No, that's okay. I don't need to raid. I just would like to point you guys to the Kindly Cleric. He's a smaller streamer as well, but definitely larger than I am, for sure. And he does some really great content. He has this huge Discord server. There's like 150 people or something on it. And he does all sorts of really cool geeky stuff. He's got like a bunch of different D&D campaigns that he's doing, including some very popular ones like Wild Beyond the Witchlight, Descent into Avernus, Eve of Ruin, which is the latest Vecna campaign. But he also does some really cool like D&D-esque systems such as Star Trek Firestorm. He also has like a Star Wars one. I don't know what system that uses, but he does a bunch of stuff. He also really likes Lord of the Rings and is familiar with Lord of the Rings 5e. So again, if you are interested in Lord of the Rings, please give your time, your follows to the Kindly Cleric, because he is very, very cool. Thank you so much, Avalith, for the follow, and welcome to the chat. I like your name, Avalith. That's a really cool D&D creature. So yeah, no. Unfortunately, you're joining us just as I'm actually getting ready to jump off stream here. Unfortunately, my baby is awake and is cooing and gooing and staring at me with his laser eyes on my baby monitor. So I unfortunately won't be able to stay here to chat and stream. But I really encourage you. Worst timing ever. Looking forward to catching a later stream, though. Yeah, no, I really appreciate the follow. I'm probably going to stream either tomorrow morning or Wednesday morning. Just depends on times here. We're currently going through the Ruins of Eriador, and sometime, hopefully in the near future, I'm going to have a couple different one-shots, one being a D&D one-shot that Pizza Man just convinced me to put out for you guys, which is just based off of the 2014 D&D system. And then later, probably in the next month or so, I'm also going to be running a whodunit called Of Ill Fillings and Miscrust. That's another homebrewed one-shot, but it's based off of the Lord of the Rings role-playing for 5e system. And that one, I'm just working with my players on their characters to get those up and running, and then we will set a date for that one. But yeah, no, I appreciate the follow and appreciate you joining the stream. I'm going to hop off. I hope you guys all have a wonderful rest of your day, and we will talk to you guys again sometime soon. Take care, everyone.